Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and I had a supernatural encounter with God in my room, and it is now 39 days since I was saved. I don't know why I had to record that because at first, when I was saying it, I was smiling and laughing too much because I'm just overjoyed, and maybe that's a good thing because what I'm going to talk about today, I don't know why I feel so giggly all of a sudden. That's God. I want to talk about how God healed me from all depression and all anxiety. So I asked God, I prayed before this. I'm like, Holy Spirit, I always pray, give me the words of wisdom, the words of knowledge. How can I share this with you guys? And what I thought of was like, I'm just going to start from the beginning. So I'm thinking of going back about 5 years to when all of the darker stuff I feel started with the other spiritual path that I started going on and the things I started going full force with. And this is going to be multiple parts, so get ready. So in 2020, I just had ended a almost 6-year relationship with somebody that I really, really cared about. This is somebody I thought I was going to get married to, have children with. I loved him very, very much. And it was devastating. So when I ended the relationship, I didn't want to. There were some things going on, which now looking back, he is not fully to blame at all. But at the time, I didn't have any faith, really. And I blamed him a lot. And I was really, really hurt. Not to say that he didn't do hurtful things, but it just broke me. It broke me into a million pieces. And it was one of those breakups, and I know you guys have been through them. It wasn't the first time I had one like that, but this one was the hardest one, where I was just on the floor crying out to God, just like it physically hurt. I would just cry on the floor and just be bawling. And at that time, there was also, literally, I broke up with him March 15th, and then March 19th, COVID happened, or the start of it, and the world just shut down. So again, I had just ended a relationship with somebody that I thought I was going to get married to, thought that was going to be the father of my children, and then the world shuts down. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like my whole world just like felt like was crumbling on top of me. And at that time, I moved all my stuff out of the apartment we shared, and I went to go live with my sister and brother-in-law temporarily. And it was just a very difficult time. I was crying almost every day. I know my sister and my brother-in-law, they're so amazing. They took me in, let me stay in one of their spare rooms and fed me every day, just listened to me cry, were there for me. Makes me emotional thinking about it because they really just loved me so much and just opened their home and their arms to me. And I stayed there for like a few months, probably overstayed my welcome. So thank you guys for letting me stay there for so long. But it was so hard. I just felt like all I could do was cry all the time. I was just so heartbroken. And this is the beginning of where I feel, because I was so heartbroken and so depressed, and the state of just being like, there's like levels of, depression and stuff. I felt like I was into despondency, where it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. Again, I felt like it physically hurt. And so at that time, because I was in that state of deep, deep depression and anxiety, that's when the enemy came in. And I started hearing things about ayahuasca and thinking like, oh, this is so cool. How do people have such miraculous healings? And, at the time, these people are doing what I'm doing, right? We're all seeking for healing. We're all looking for something that is going to just cure us of this overwhelming burden. And so the enemy knew that. And instead of me reaching out for God, because I did cry out to him, I did pray, but again, I just didn't have that strong foundation of faith. And now looking back, I don't think I was asking Jesus to come into my heart the way I did this last time when I got saved. And I wasn't asking God to show me the truth. I think I was just more like, God, why is this happening? I think that's what it was a lot of. Not so much, please help me. Like, I can't do this on my own. I think I was just more in a state of confusion and trying to find answers about the breakup. So anyways, so then the enemy came and started making me think, oh, maybe you should drink ayahuasca. Maybe that will heal you. And so I did. At that time, as soon as I heard about it and I saw these stories online, I was like, well, maybe this is the answer. And quickly signed up for a retreat. And I went. I had 3 ceremonies of this. And basically, I'm going to go into a more in-depth video about this, but it is a shamanic brew that just completely opens you up for 6 to 8 hours so that anything can come inside of you, any demonic thing. I had no spiritual protection, none whatsoever. Now looking back at that, it is absolutely terrifying. And I would rather shoot myself in the foot than ever do that, which that's bad too, but you know what I'm trying to say. But I thought that was going to heal me. So that just made things worse. When I was at the retreat, the enemy knew what God had planned for me, which is what I'm doing now. And at that first retreat, I won a trip back. What a coincidence, right? Now looking back, I'm like, dang, the enemy tried really, really hard to stop me. And it did. It halted me for a while to come to Jesus and start doing the work that God is calling me to do. But so I went back again the following year for another retreat, another 3 ceremonies, so 6 ceremonies total, with just fully wide open for all these demons to come in. So in 2023, I started going to a spiritual mentor who gave me tarot readings every week, and I thought this was helping me. I treated this as therapy, and it just made it worse. It just made it worse. And what I'm trying to show now is just how the one way that the enemy really got in through that depression and anxiety state made me go to this, which brought more demonic things into my life. And then maybe go to tarot cards, it brought more demonic things in my life. And then from ayahuasca, I thought I got a vision that I'm supposed to do breath work. Now I know that wasn't of God. That wasn't of God. God would never have me learn some other practice to lead people to believe that is the answer and that's the cure, when you could just go to him and he would relieve you of everything instantly. Not like all these other things where it's a temporary, you feel good for the day or maybe just a few hours, and then later on in the day or the next day, you're back into the same state that you were. So yeah, it was doing all those ceremonies and getting into tarot readings. That's where I was. And so every week I was doing that, calling on spirit guides, which are calling literally demons in. And I just got into more and more of a depressive state. So in 2023, I got into this really, really bad place where I started having feelings of like, if this is how my life is going to be, then I don't know if I could do this forever. Never thought of actually, but I just thought if this is how it's going to be, I can't do this forever. I really thought that. And I started feeling like my thoughts were becoming uncontrollable. I started getting scared to the point that I thought I'm going to have to call 911. Like, that's how bad it would get. I would call like my brother-in-law or my sister or somebody to talk to, because it was just so bad. I'm going to go into it more in the next video.